Um, we're gonna start our first lesson, and it's just truly vocab heavy. It's not gonna really feel like a math class. There's no numbers today. It's all just kind of words and looking at a picture. So it's different, and you might be confused because you've never heard of these words. You've never put these words together. It's just gonna be a lot of information, but we'll go through it slow, and I think you'll come out okay on the other end, all right? But if I'm going too fast or if something doesn't make sense, just let me know. So, you guys see in your notes how there's like blanks? Did I send enough back? No. Sorry about that, buddy. You fill in the words up here that will be in blue, okay? So in geometry, we have these things called undefined terms. And these are just the most basic fundamental pieces that we'll use all year, but we don't have to define them because we use them to define other things, which I know is really confusing. So we call them undefined terms. We study a branch of geometry called Euclidean, meaning it's just in the coordinate plane. Don't get too bent out of shape about that. But in Euclidean geometry, our undefined terms are points, lines, and planes. And they kind of build on top of each other, okay? But just know that these are just the most basic building blocks of what we'll do all year. So the first one is a point. And all it is, you guys, is marking a spot. It's marking a location. It has no shape or size. It's just telling you where something is. Okay? On a diagram, you'll see a bunch of different points. And how you tell which one's which is with a capital letter. And that's how you name it. So, like, do you guys see this example here? We have a dot with the capital letter A. You would call this point A. And you have to write the word out point. Otherwise, you could be talking about a plane or a line. So if you wanted to label that point right there, you would call it point A. If there was a W next to that point, it would be point W. Yep, so it's whatever capital letters next to that point is what you call it. And it's just marking a spot. Okay, so a point is just one point. Now, if you have 2 points, you can make a line. So a line is just a series of points that you connect. It has no length or width because a line goes on for forever and ever. That's why there's arrows on the edges of it. Even though on your picture it looks like it starts and stops, if it wasn't on your picture, it would still keep going. So just know that they go on for forever. You use 2 points on your line to name it, or a lowercase script letter. You guys know what script letter? Do you know what that means? Like cursive. It's like a cursive letter, okay? So if we wanted to name this line here, do you guys see 2 points? Yeah, which 2 points are on there?
P and Q.
P and Q. So you'd put P, Q, and then so you know it's a line, draw a little line on top. Just like that. The order doesn't matter, so you could flip it, and I'm going to write it just so you guys can see it. It could be QP. You could write it like that with a line on top. Or the third way that you could write this line, you guys see that cursive little M? You could call it line M. So that line actually had 3 different ways to name it. Which is kind of why this gets confusing, because we could all be talking about the same line, but we called it something different. But just know you need at least 2 points. Okay, so 1 point was a point. Between any 2 points, there's a line. Through any 3 points, there's a plane. Okay? So our last big thing today is a plane. And think of it as a flat surface. So think of like your table, your desktop, that's a plane. The wall, plane. The floor, they're all flat surfaces. That's a plane, okay? There's exactly one plane through any 3 points not on the same line. And you can name that plane through any 3 points that aren't on the same line as well. Or a script capital letter if it's there. So if we want to name this plane here, do you guys see 3 points on that flat surface? Yeah, what are they?
C, C, and D.
B, C, and D, right? Why is K not a point?
It's its name?
Yeah.
It's the plane.
Yeah, you're naming the plane, but is there a dot next to it?
No.
No, so that's how you know it's not a point. It has to have a dot next to it if it's a point. So if I wanted to name this plane, you would say plane and then pick any order. It doesn't matter the order of the letters. So there's really a bunch of different ways to name this one. I'm just going to go D, B, C, but you could switch up that letter order. It doesn't make a difference. So that's one way. Or that capital cursive K in the bottom is the other way. So we call it plain K or plain K. Okay, we have some more vocab down here. Collinear means points on the same line. So if you guys notice, I underlined the word line here. You guys see how the word line's in collinear? You think of like co-pilots are flying the same plane. So collinear points are on the same line. So non-collinear points would be points that are not on the same line. But you'd have to have at least 3 to name those. So what do you suppose coplanar points would be?
They're all on the same plane.
They sure are. Points on the same plane because they're coplanar. So then non-coplanar points do not lie in the same plane. And you have to have at least 4 of them to name them. So we just wrote down a ton of information, a lot of new information, so I know it's a lot. When you guys flip the page over, we're just going to look at examples of different diagrams and naming all these different things, okay? So I know it's a lot, just kind of let it ferment and digest a little bit. Oh, we got a little bit more on the top I forgot about. The intersection of 2 or more geometric figures are the points that they share, what they have in common. So if I look at my 2 intersecting lines here, what do they make when they touch?
X.
Yeah, they do. It does look like an X, but specifically, what is that?
Point P.
Point P. Yeah. So 2 lines intersect at a point. You have a point of intersection. They intersect at a point. Perfect. This one's kind of tricky. The next one. 2 planes. What do they make when they touch? You guys see plane L and plane M there? What's their intersection?
K.
K. Yeah. What is K?
Oh, line.
It's a line. Yeah, because all these points in here, they share. So that's why it's a line. So 2 planes intersect at a line. All right, folks, here we go. We finally get to do some examples after all that information. So we're going to use this diagram to answer the following. Name the line containing point K. So let's first locate point K. What line is it on?
A.
So you could say line A. So I'm going to write both of them. I didn't mean to do that. I've had smartboard problems today, you guys, so I apologize. Oh, no. Let's try it one more time. thank goodness. Okay, line A. So you can name it that script letter. Is there another way we can name that line?
JKL.
How many points to name a line?
2.
Just 2. So you have JK, KL, any combination. Now I'll just do JL with a little line. So if you want to put both of those or just one, but there's more than one right answer to that. Okay, what about 3 collinear points? What does collinear mean?
On the same line.
On the same line, right? Can you guys find 3 points on the same line?
Yeah.
What are they?
JK.
JK, no. They're all on the same line. Don't be lazy. Make sure you write the word points, otherwise you're not going to be correct. So points, J, K, L.
Wait, doesn't it say points for us?
Oh, if you just put it there next to it, I guess that works. What about 3 non-collinear points? Can you find 3 points that are not all on the same line?
M,
M, and then what else?
L.
L. And you're probably looking for another point not on this line, right? But really, either of these work because let's say we pick J. Do these 3 points, are they all on the same line?
No.
No, so as long as 2 of them are on the same line, you're good to go. So I'm going to say points MLK. So basically, as long as you had M in your answer, that was a good answer. Name the plane in 2 ways. Should we start with the easy one? What's the easy way to name this plane?
B.
Plane B, that capital letter in the corner. So I'm going to write that here, plane B. And then what's the other way to name a plane? How many points?
3.
3, but they just can't be on the same line. So plane what?
NLK.
That works. Oh. Plane L and you guys want to try the next section on your own? We can get a little head start and then we can go over it, or should we just do it together? Maybe I should try. Just see what you can come up with on your own before you get stuck.
Sure.
If you get stuck, that's okay. Just skip it. Try the next one. And if you can't get any of them, well, that's okay too. We're still learning.
Another name for line head. Line BW.
Okay, I'll pause you there and we can just kind of go through them together quick. Another name for line N.
Line VW.
VW works. Anyone else have anything different than VW?
XY.
XY. What did you need to have?
2 points.
Just 2 points on this line. Will you double check that you put a little line segment on top of yours? Make sure that you had a little line. Yep, you need that little line on top. So 4 coplanar points. You guys, any point in the shaded part. So you could have had Z, X, W, V. What letter could you not have had in your answer?
T.
Yeah, just not T. So D, W, V, Y. Okay. What about 4 non-coplanar points?
T, C, Y, D.
Yeah, but I think I heard someone say it. Anything with T in it, right? T and then 3 other points in the shaded part? That works. Even though these 3 points are on the same plane as long as one of them's not, great answer. I'm recording just so in case anyone's missing today, so I'm going to write this real quick. Sorry, you guys. Okay, what's the next one? The intersection of line N and line R.
Point X.
You guys agree?
Yep.
I agree. Point X. And the last one's kind of tricky. Name the intersection of plane P and line R. What did you guys put? It is point X. So here's your plane, right? It's this flat surface. And line R is coming through it like this and popping out the bottom. So it's just touching it at one spot. So it is point X. I know it's kind of hard to see 3-dimensional on a sheet of paper, but that's why it's dashed. So that means it's going beneath it like this. So point X. Okay. Now we're just going to model a little bit with real life figures. If you had a patio, just a patio like in your backyard, would that model a plane, a point, or a line?
Plane.
Yeah, it's a flat surface, right? So a 10 by 12 foot patio would be a plane. What about the stripes on the sweater? So just be lines. A corner of a box.
Point.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Here is point. And then a button on a table.
Point.
All right, folks, in our last one here, we're drawing this little chunk of information in the space over here, okay? So I'm going to read it quick so you guys kind of know like how you would read that out loud if you're talking geometrically. So it says plane R contains lines A, B, and D, E, which intersect at point P. Add point C on plane R so it's not collinear with line A, B, or line D, E. So it's kind of a mouthful when you look at it like this, but if we just kind of take it piece by piece, it's real easy. So where would be a good starting point? I'd probably start with plane R since that's where everything's kind of happening in. So basically draw yourself a rectangle that's like slanted because that's what a plane looks like on a sheet of paper. And you guys will find out that I can't draw to save my life and I apologize. It's just not what I'm good at. So there's my plane, and since they want it called R, I'm going to throw the letter R in the corner. It says it contains lines A, B, and lines D, E, and they intersect. So draw 2 lines that intersect, folks. They want us to label them, so I'm going to label one A, B. So I'm going to throw a point A on there, point B, and then D and E. Their intersection is point P. And then lastly, it says add point C on the plane, but it's not collinear with our two lines. What does that mean?
Be anywhere on the lines.
Just-
Besides the lines.
Yeah, anywhere that's not on our lines. Excuse me. Here we go. Feel free if you want to work with a buddy on this. So those are yours to keep. So I put them in a folder. We'll be in them for probably a few weeks. You don't want to lose them.
You need to match what you were doing on Friday.
We'll come back to that later. We're gonna put a pause on it for now.
I have an extra one. I must search that.
Oh, no, you want to?
No.
You guys let me know if you need help, all right? Oops.